Elliot, Republicans aren't co-opted. You know, our administration, the established government, the swamp, it's not occupied by Israel. I mean, to all accounts, we're saying that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad, an Israeli agent. They may have more on us than we think. And listen to this question that was asked during a New York mayoral debate. This is for a debate for a mayor of New York City.
Visit by a mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first, Mr. Cuomo?
Given the hostility and the anti-Semitism that has been shown in New York, I would go to Israel.
Mr. Tilson, where would you go?
Israel. Okay, that's one person. Where would you go, Mr. Tilson?
Yeah, I'd make my 4th trip to Israel, followed by my 5th trip to...
Brother, it's not if you've gone so many times, why are you going back? Go somewhere new. Japan seems nice. India's growing. Don't you want to make diplomatic relationships there? I think 29% of New Yorkers is like Hispanic or Hispanic roots. You don't want to go to Puerto Rico. You don't want to go to Mexico.
Ukraine, 2 of our greatest allies, fighting on...
Israel and Ukraine, you're sucking cocks from both sides, bro. You are
on the front lines of the global war on terror.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani.
How that is the only answer to this question. Even if you don't believe it as the mayor, that is your fucking job. Yaps. It's in the name. So I voted for this administration, right? So, and I'm not saying that I'm ashamed of it. And there's been some good, positive things. But ultimately, the swamp is as swampy as ever. The dollar is still being debased. It's not gaining any value. It's consistently losing value. Sure, the stock market seems like it's going at all-time highs. And crypto is, you know, doing crypto things. But no average person is feeling the success from it. It's only the people that got money from COVID or even prior back to the 2008, the collapse where certain companies, entities were bailed out by the government because they were deemed too big to fail. And every time that's happened, the rich get richer and the poor will get poorer. And I'm not going to lie, this may be the start of the downfall of the Republican Party. It seemed like the Republican Party was going to dominate for the next, 8, 12 years. But they are shooting themselves in the foot. I think we thought with Donald Trump being the person who was the head of the Republican Party that we understood what people want, what the average American wants. And that was somebody to break the system, to go against the grain. And you can't doubt that Donald Trump is funny. That Donald Trump, is, I don't want to say is charismatic, but he's charismatic to a certain level. But now that that newness is worn off, it's kind of becoming frustrating when we're constantly getting these lies thrown at us that everything is good and everything is great. Maybe in the future it will be because of things going on right now, but the things that are currently going on right now are not too good. And I think the Republican Party is completely being bought and paid for. And if you don't think so, well, I don't know what to tell you. This guy can't even stand, but he's standing with Israel. This is insane. That we're having, and you've seen this. I've seen this too many times where certain people have the American flag backdrop with another country's flag. If you are a representative of America, that is the only thing that you need to represent. And I bring this up because I see you, Arma, in here saying that Zohan Mamdani wins. Well, this is you, Elliot. Republicans aren't co-opted. You know, our administration, the established government, the swamp, it's not occupied by Israel. I mean, to all accounts, we're saying that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad, an Israeli agent. They may have more on us than we think. And listen to this question that was asked during a New York mayoral debate. This is for a debate for a mayor of New York City.
Visit by a mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first, Mr. Cuomo?
Given the hostility and the anti-Semitism that has been shown in New York, I would go to Israel.
Mr. Tilson, where would you go?
Israel. Okay, that's one person. Where would you go, Mr. Tilson?
Yeah, I'd make my 4th trip to Israel followed by my 5th trip to.
Brother, it's not if you've gone so many times, why are you going back? Go somewhere new. Japan seems nice. India's growing. Don't you want to make diplomatic relationships there? I think 29% of New Yorkers is like Hispanic or Hispanic roots. You don't want to go to Puerto Rico. You don't want to go to Mexico.
Ukraine, 2 of our greatest allies, fighting
Israel and Ukraine. You're sucking cocks from both sides, bro. You are
on the front lines of the global war on terror.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani.
How that is the only answer to this question. Even if you don't believe it, as the mayor, that is your fucking job. And if you don't believe it, look at Karen Bass when over in California on the other side of the United States. Guess what? When her state was on fire, when the Palisades were on fire, and it looked like someone threw a Molotov cocktail and just started the craziest wildfire you've ever seen, her bitch ass was in Hawaii. Visiting, having fun. She was traveling, not doing her job. If your job is to be the mayor, the numero uno, the sheriff of these towns, you're going to be the sheriff. You're running this city. You're making sure everyone follows the law. That's your station. That's it. You only get to go as wide as that city is. You don't get to leave and go to Israel and then maybe Ukraine.
Donnie, can I just jump in?
People literally made fun of him because of his religion on X. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Arma. Because of his religion, I'm very hesitant of him. There is a fear, not just because of his religion, but because he's also an outspoken socialist. Like, I'm sorry, me growing up, a guy like him was deemed the enemy. I don't understand why we're letting somebody with those talking points in. And now, granted, I've listened to some of his stuff. I've listened to him on The Flagrant with Andrew Schultz and everything. The dude's charismatic. He's a very likable guy. I'll give him that. Like, as a bro to a bro, I feel like we could hang out. Just the policies that he stands by, very questioning, and the choice of his religion. You guys know how I feel about it.
And would you visit Israel
No,
as mayor?
I will be doing, as the mayor, I'll be standing up for Jewish New Yorkers, and I'll be meeting them wherever they are across the 5 boroughs, whether that's in their synagogues and temples, or at their homes, or at the subway platform, because ultimately we need to focus on delivering on their concerns.
And just yes or no, do you believe in a Jewish state of Israel?
Why does that matter? We are occupied. The reason why Jeffrey Epstein, the files will not get released is it's going to paint a picture clear as day, everything going back to Israel. Holy fuck. Is he a good candidate? No. He's not a good candidate. He's the mayor now because he's not a candidate. He's the mayor. So, I will say this. I'm not a fan of the policies, but if they work, I will be the first one to admit that I was wrong and that maybe we should try this elsewhere. But right now, Mamdani has the biggest task in America. I would almost, or maybe not the biggest because Donald Trump's is pretty big, but everybody is looking at New York now. And it's going to either be a laughingstock, it's going to become a failed state, it will ultimately collapse and fall, kind of like Detroit, Michigan, or it's going to rise and thrive, and it will be probably the blueprint for what's to come in the future. If it works out very well, then we might not see the Republicans win in 2028. We might go see a shift back to the left. I doubt this very much so, but there is a chance. There is a chance. Muslim in New York, sheesh. I know, New York is supposed to be like the most patriotic place in America. It's supposed to be America, and well, shit. So, Zohan, you won. You delivered the victory speech. What you got to say for yourself? See, like all of this to me, I'm sorry. American flag, American flag, American flag, American flag, American flag, American flag, American backdrop, American pin. Maybe the outline of the city of New York pin, but that's it. It should just be straight up American flags. I don't care that this is the borough of Manhattan and probably the different, like, New York and the different boroughs. No! You don't get it. You get flags, motherfuckers. That's my 2 cents. American flags. And just to show you, hold on, sorry, Zohan, you're not even talking yet, so I'm not even interrupting you. We're just listening to your applause. Let me show you guys how patriotic I am. It's my goddamn mouse pad. America, fuck yeah. Lo, come here. I have a question. How do you feel about, look what Lo made me. How do you feel about when you see politicians and they're American politicians, obviously, and they have different flags in the background? This is not the example, but like a Ukrainian flag or an Israeli flag in the background when they're speaking. Do you care?
I mean, most of the time when that happens, they're like, it's kind of like going to like the World Congress Center.
Okay. She's saying that most of the time she sees it, it's when it's at like the World Congress Center where they're having like world meetings, which is fair. I guess you would kind of want that, right? Like if you have a neighbor coming over, you want to have them represented. I'm just talking about like when they're in a Zoom conference and they're doing a Zoom call, and in the background you have all the different flags, and it's, to me, it's no different than like a movie critic who's paid by the people who made the movie to review the movie, so there's a financial incentive for them to be kind or not be as truthful about the criticisms of said movie, because guess what? They're gonna want that paper again. It always comes down to the money. Follow the money, seek the truth, and in the wise words of Candace Owens, everything is fake and gay.
Thank you, my friends.
Bro, you're elected in your country, not Israel. Work for your people. Bro, I need you to stop speaking with common sense there, guy. Arma. Too much common sense. People forget that if you're an elected official, you are a servant of the people. The people are not servants to you, you fuckwads. Arma, you are a smart, free-thinking individual. How does it feel to wake up and piss excellence every morning?
Over our city this evening.
I don't know.
But as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity. For as long as we can remember, the working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Fingers bruised from lifting boxes on the warehouse floor, palms calloused from delivery bike handlebars, knuckles scarred with kitchen burns. These are not hands that have been allowed to hold power. And yet, over the last 12 months, you have dared to reach for something greater. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands. My friends, we have toppled a political dynasty.
We have toppled a political dynasty. Tell me we're not occupied right now. Tell me that we're not being overthrown. I did. I have.
I wish Andrew Cuomo only the best in private life. But let tonight be the final time I utter his name. As we turn the page on a politics that abandons the many and answers only to the few. New York, tonight you have delivered a mandate for change, a mandate for a new kind of politics. A mandate for a city we can afford. And a mandate for a government that delivers exactly that. On January 1st, I will be sworn in as the mayor of New York City.
Realistically, the same thing that happened to Obama and Trump is probably going to happen to this guy. He's constantly going to get sued. He's going to get caught up with all the weird bullshit of being a mayor, and he's not going to be able to get anything done. Realistically.
And that is because of you. So before I say anything else, I must say this. Thank you. Thank you to the next generation of New Yorkers who refuse to accept that the promise of a better future was a relic of the past. You showed that when politics speaks to you without condescension, we can usher in a new era of leadership. We will fight for you because we are you. Or as we say on Steinway, ana minkum wa ilaykum.
What the fuck was that? What the hell was that? All right, let's see. That's actually crazy. It sucks that my first thought as an American is to pray for his safety. That's a good person right there. This guy will need some serious protection. History is written, reject foreign lobbyists. He actually did it. Not since Obama has there been a Democrat and, frankly, any political figure with this level of message, delivery, and charisma. That's what I'm saying. He seems like a very likable guy, right? We will fight for you because we are you. It's just, so he brought up Eugene Banks, right? He said in the wise words of Eugene Banks, Zohan mentioned a Eugene Debs in his victory speech. Who is that and what are they most known for? Seeing that Zohan is a outspoken socialist and communist, I'm going to imagine this guy was either some European or American socialist or communist, and he's going to try to enact his view of the world. So let's see. Are we right? Let's find out. Oh, Brock's having to think hard on this one. We even have it on fast. It's not too fast. Damn, did I not call that. Eugene Debs was a pioneering American socialist, labor leader, and political activist, widely regarded as one of the most influential figures in early U.S. labor and socialist movements. Debs started out as a railroad fireman and rose through the Union ranks, becoming a Grand Secretary of the Brotherhood of Locomotive Firemen in 1880. And in 1893, he founded the American Railway Union, the nation's first industrial union, which workers across skill levels. He led major strikes, including the successful 1888 Burlington Railroad strike and the 1894 Great Northern Railway strike. Interesting. the Pullman strike and conversion to socialism. His most famous labor of action was in 1894 with the Pullman strike, a nationwide boycott with over 250,000, rail workers protesting wage cuts and poor conditions. The federal government intervened with the troops, leading Debs' arrest and a 6-month prison sentence for his contempt in court. Interesting. While incarcerated, he read socialist works like those by Karl Marx and Karl Kautsky, two famous, the two socialists. When I think of socialism and communism, this and one of the Chinese guys comes up to mind. Emerged as a committed socialist, co-founding the Socialist Democratic Party in 1898, the Socialist Party of America in 1901, he helped establish the Radical Industrial Workers of the World, IWW, in 1905. Damn. So this guy went into prison and just really leaned into his beliefs, huh? Deb is best remembered for his 5 presidential campaigns on the Socialist Party ticket in 1990, 1904, 1908, 1912, and 1920, where he advocated for workers' rights, public ownership of industries, women's suffrage, and anti-imperialism. If you run on those things today, you become the mayor of New York City. Wow. In 1912, his 1912 run garnered nearly 6% of the popular vote. The high watermark of the U.S. Socialist candidate, he outpolled rivals in the states of Florida. Even more iconic was his 1920 campaign from the federal prison, where he won over 900,000 votes as prisoner 9653, which stemmed from the 1918 arrest and 10-year sentence under the Espionage Act for a speech criticizing the U.S. entry into World War I and the draft. His imprisonment symbolized free speech struggles and anti-war dissent. President J. Harding committed his sentence in 1921. It really feels like, man, you can get away with so much shit back in the day, because I don't think this guy, if this guy lives today, this guy might beat Donald Trump. In context with Zohan's speech, in his November 5th, 2025 speech as the New York mayor, Zohan quoted Debs to evoke the legacy of socialist activism and working class solidarity, tying it to his own progressive platform for immigrants, youth, and the labor movement. This nod highlights Debs' enduring influence on the contemporary left-wing politics. America has